Braxie, the Flatwoods Monster. Written, produced, and directed by Rev Dr Dikki-Jo Mullen. Rev Dr. Mullen presents the story of Braxie, referred to as the Flatwoods Monster, that appeared in Braxton, West Virginia in September of 1952. In her discussion, she includes overviewing the idea of cryptozoology, which is the study of unusual creatures, and discusses the sign of Virgo appearance of Braxie. Now we will join Dr. Mullen for her presentation.
Hello, I'm astrologer and paranormal investigator Dikki-Jo Mullen, coming to you from downtown Orlando, Florida, with a special study in cryptozoology and astrology, two very interesting words. Astrology is the study of the way the stars, the heavens, reflect life on Earth, of course. Cryptozoology is a word that isn't quite as well known. Equally interesting, though. It's the study of unusual animals and creatures that aren't usually thought of as being familiar to life here on Earth. One of these, the most interesting one, would be the Flatwoods monster, Braxie, who might be an alien or might be a creature that's always lived on Earth and occasionally appears. We're not sure. Sightings and legends involving the appearance of unknown creatures have tantalized, terrified, and intrigued people for hundreds of years. We have Nessie, Scotland's Loch Ness Monster. We have New Jersey's Mothman, Florida's skunk ape. These are just a few well-known examples of cryptozoology. Another one, of course, is the abominable snowman. That's the technical term which classifies animals and creatures of uncertain origin in the Himalaya mountains. The existence of these creatures is supported by many, yet scoffed at by others. Usually, astrology doesn't figure into investigating these sightings due to the inability to create a horoscope which is accurate for them. However, there is a phantom from the mysterious and misty mountains of West Virginia, which is an exception. Braxie does have an astrology chart. The Flatwoods monster, the green monster, these are different names for this same creature named Braxie for Braxton County. The documented data can be studied astrologically because there was over 70 years a time recorded when Braxie first appeared. This was actually about 72 years away from this time that we're doing the recording during the autumn of 2024. September 12th of 1952, at about sunset in the rural village of Flatwoods, this is near the town of Sutton, West Virginia, an unusual humanoid and alien-like figure was sighted. Her story is still recorded and celebrated today. Most people saw Braxie as a female, which is why I'm using the personal pronoun her, but we're really not quite sure. It all began when three local boys, brothers Edward and Fred May, and their friend Tommy Heyer, were out walking one evening near the farm of one farmer, G. Bailey Fisher. They saw a bright object soaring across the sky, and it landed on Farmer Bailey's property. The boys raced home to Kathleen May's home nearby, arriving at 7:15 p.m. I'm mentioning the time and the date because that'll be important as we get to the astrological information. They wanted to share the story, and they were soon joined by other local people. Neil Nuxley, Ronnie Shaver, Eugene Lemon, who was a National Guardsman. This group returned to the farm to investigate. All of them saw a pulsating red light and observed a very tall, human-like figure with a round red face. It was Braxie. She was wearing a pointed hood, which looks like the spade symbol in a deck of playing cards. Descriptions varied a lot from the general consensus that there was a creature who was over 10 feet tall with eye shapes and a head, and this emitted an orange and green glow. The body was either green or black, and there were small claw-like hands with clothing that looked like drapery. The figure made a hissing sound as if it was trying to speak, and the group ran away in terror. Afterward, they claimed that there had been also a nauseating odor present. Let's look at some pictures of Braxie right now. This is the way that she appeared. Handsome lady, isn't she? Kind of intriguing looking. But actually, those are eyewitness accounts of drawings that were created of Braxie. And there's actually a whole museum dedicated to her in Sutton, West Virginia. And all of the people, pictures of them, and the whole chain of events were here. And the sheriff and a deputy had been investigating at the same time Braxie appeared a report that an airplane had crashed in the area. A. Lee Stewart Jr., a reporter from the local newspaper, the Braxton Democrat, went to the site the next day. He noted skid marks and an odd gummy substance in the area where Braxie was spotted. And later, UFO enthusiasts insisted that this showed that a flying saucer had landed there. The news story was carried nationwide in 1952. It's nearly forgotten now, but there is a lot of documentation at the Braxie Museum in Sutton, West Virginia, which is very near Flatwoods, the little village where she chose to land. At that time, in 1952, hundreds of calls came from around the country after the story broke. A minister came from New York to question the witnesses, and UFO writers from all over the world showed up. A newspaper from Pittsburgh arrived in Braxton County to investigate, and this extended the story, the legend of the Flatwoods monster. Skeptics tooted that anxiety and hysteria had influenced the eyewitnesses, and that the creature they described really resembled a large owl perched on a tree. The claw-like limbs were probably just the talons of the owl, so the skeptics added. A meteor had been observed that night in the sky above 3 states, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. According to debunker Joe Nickel, the flashing red lights were just aircraft beacons that would have been visible in the area when this figure was supposedly seen. Nevertheless, the legend dubbed Braxie, the Flatwood Monster, has endured and grown over all of these years. A museum located in Sutton dedicated to Braxie has a welcome sign bearing her image. And in Flatwoods, the little village, there's a giant sign that says the hometown of the Greenwood Monster. Each year, there's a festival commemorating the event called Flatwoods Days. Throughout Braxton County, there are giant-sized Adirondack chairs that are available for people to have a photo op, and the visitors to the local visitors bureau can obtain a map to find these. I actually drove when in West Virginia, moving through there on a vacation further north, all of the chairs, and went to visit them. And stickers can be collected by those who visit each chair for a photo op. The overall motto for this yearly festival is Free Braxie. In 2019, the History Channel featured this legend of the Flatwoods Monster. And there are even video games. One is called Fallout 76, and one is called Everybody's Golf, that make references to Braxie. Her story continues to inspire the media and paranormal investigators. Her fame extends far beyond West Virginia, and it doesn't seem to be abating at all. When I was there, I even bought a t-shirt from the Braxie Museum that I'm wearing today to invoke her favor over our video today. I have the horoscope of the Flatwoods monster and the data here to look at, and we could see astrologically what was going on. It's really very, very interesting. Let's take a look at the astrology chart here. And we have to find this here again. There are the pictures of Braxie. Here is a listing of the different placements astrologically. Sun was in Virgo, the moon in Cancer, Mercury in Virgo, Venus in Libra, Mars in Sagittarius, Jupiter in Taurus, Saturn in Libra, Uranus in Cancer, Neptune in Libra, Pluto in Leo, the moon's north node. This is important because the nodes show the eclipse pattern astrologically, and the rising sign of Braxie's appearance is Pisces. Here's the entire chart. I used 6:31 p.m. because that was near sunset at that time, and everyone said that's when she appeared. And it was 7:15 or so before the group arrived at the home, and the whole legend was kind of noted and recorded the time. But this is September 12th, 1952, 6:31 p.m. in Flatwoods, West Virginia. And we have the latitude and longitude here. This is a fascinating birth chart. And again, it's a birthday chart for Braxie's appearance, whatever happened. But after all of these years, it's profoundly affecting people. And taking a look at this, the astrology chart was again rectified by the original eyewitness accounts. It was dark when they ran and landed at the May home, and that was where 7:15 p.m. was noted. Let's look at the chart. Pisces as a rising sign suggests mystery and the other worldly appearance of Braxie. The Sun and Mercury in Virgo shows all the meticulous scholarship around this sighting and the documentation of the event. There's a lot written. There's many newspaper accounts. All of these really displayed in a scientific-like way at the Braxie Museum. The moon and Uranus are conjunct in Cancer. The moon rules the general public, the flow of events. Uranus is the planet of the unusual and the unexpected. These two placements conjunct or next to each other show how this has impacted the hometown people. Braxie's few minutes that people saw her 72 years ago and more in West Virginia has affected people generations ever since. Jupiter, the planet of growth and luck, is in Taurus in the second house of income, and Braxie has really boosted the income of this rather modest, kind of impoverished area. And the T-shirts that are sold, the everyday events when people come, especially to see Braxie, stay in hotels that feature her. When I stayed there as a tourist and an investigative reporter, there were all sorts of flyers out and a different area of the hotel. It's a Days Inn near Sutton, West Virginia, that featured the event. And obviously, many of the people visiting there had just left the Flatwoods Braxie Festival that occurs every year around the time that she occurred. So there's a mystery and otherworldly quality that keeps pervasive in this area, and it's been a big money maker. The sale of events. There were also Braxie statues, postcards for sale, and all of this merchandising, of course, and the yearly festival add tremendously to the local economy. So we can look at Braxie as kind of a heroine. There's a stellium of placements in romantic Libra, Venus, Saturn, and Neptune in the seventh house of public relations. This angular planetary grouping fosters popularity and creativity. Libra is the sign of love, and Braxie is beloved. She's not considered frightening. Many local artists compete to make statues and souvenirs, and there are contests with prizes involving Braxie artwork. The Flatwoods Monster Museum and Visitors County Center is located at 208 Main Street in Sutton, West Virginia. 26601 is the zip code. The phone number there is 304-765-6533. And Braxie also, of course, has her own website. Let's see if we can find the details here. Let's see, share. There's an image that was taken from a postcard of Braxie. And there's the contact information for her website and the Main Street Visitors Center. I went there. The people were very personable and friendly, and every one of them believed that Braxie might return someday and that she had been a blessing. So I hope you've enjoyed the study in astrology and cryptozoology. I'm Dikki-Jo in Orlando, Florida, astrologer and paranormal investigator and a Braxie supporter.
Thank you for watching the video. Reverend Dr. Dikki-Jo Mullen has been gifted with several psychic learning styles that she has developed over her lifetime. Each of us has been gifted with innate psychic learning styles as well that we may choose to develop. Reverend Dr. Dikki-Jo Mullen is an astrologer, psychic, and parapsychologist. She provides astrology, psychic, rune, and tarot card readings. She provides face-to-face and Zoom readings and seances. She offers webinars, face-to-face individual and group sessions as well. Here are Dr. Mullen's social media sites. Her email recently changed. She offers inspirational insights on her WordPress site. She has more than 200 related videos on her YouTube channel and also maintains a Facebook page. Reverend Dr. Dikki-Jo notes that use of the internet enhances the psychic energy of her work. She observes that this is a result of the fusion of her earthbound energy, her psychic energy, and internet energy working together. She encourages you to explore and develop your innate psychic learning styles.